welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, that's Nick, and we are ready to break down some Tuesday NHL.
Friends, I'm Terry.
Oh,
sorry, I accidentally tried to swipe away the YouTube notification and it clicked on it.
It's all good. IceX with his Marchand and a Boston uniform. First of all, IceX, I'm sorry to say this. I know we disagreed on this in the Ice Guys chat, but the Winter Classic was boring as shit. It was a horrible game to watch. I found it extremely boring, mostly because I had Boston by 2, and obviously that didn't cash. But it got a little bit exciting at the end, but most of the game was boring. I'm sorry.
For an outdoor game about that, I'm glad that the Cotton Bowl was on at the same time because that USC Tulane game was a million times better than the hockey game.
There we go. So point proven. It was boring, but it is what it is. We will go on to today's first game. We've got the Columbus Blue Jackets plus 180 to plus 200. Ottawa Senators minus 208 to minus 230. 6.5s right across the board in this one. Columbus 2-12 on the road. Obviously, Columbus is just a complete mess. The worst team in the Eastern Conference. And they are in Ottawa, a team that I'm not overly fond of. I'm definitely not laying minus 200, minus 230 with the Senators. You have to go with, obviously, the puck line. And I'm just not ready to trust the Senators on a puck line. Not at this spot here. I am looking at DeBrincat, Batherson, and Claude Giroux, all for player points. If you're going to target player points for any parlays, I like to do 3 or 4 guys on different games to get a point, just for fun, something extra for the night. So those are the 3 guys I'm looking at for Ottawa, but no play in this game for me. I love today's slate. I've got lots of picks. But this is one game that I stayed off of. Nick, Columbus, Ottawa. I know you like the bum fights. I guess Ottawa's not really a bum, but what do you think of this game?
Yeah, Ottawa's been playing much better with hockey as of late, for sure, compared to how they started off the year. It is going to be Anton Forsberg, which has been good, actually, this season. Both these teams have been trending towards the under as of late. Columbus has gone under in, I want to say, 7 of their last 10 games. Ottawa, 8 of their last 10 games have gone under. So Ottawa is turning into an under hockey team all of a sudden. They're coming in off of a 3-1 win against Buffalo, which I had projected for an Ottawa win and the under, and I didn't play either. So, of course, both of them hit. And looking at this game, I got a 6.5 with this one, and I took it under. I had this game projected 3.13 to 2.43. So 5.56 projected goals in this game. So I saw this game should be more like a 6 rather than a 6.5, especially the way that both these teams have been trending. So I did play the under, which unders in Ottawa games have been actually pretty good as of late.
All right. It will be Forsberg in net for Ottawa, and then Korpisalo for Columbus. But we will move on to my favorite game of the night. We have the St. Louis Blues plus 215 to plus 240. Toronto Maple Leafs minus 250 to minus 300. 6s right across the board in this one. Not sure why this game is at a 6. Both of these teams have been going over lately. When these two teams face each other, the games have been very high scoring, including the 5-4 win Toronto had earlier in December. And when you look at Binnington's record against Toronto, 2-2-1 with an .877 save percentage and a 4.48 goals against. So he's giving up 4.5 goals a game when he faces Toronto. This Blues team has injuries. Obviously, Tarasenko and O'Reilly will both be out for a bit of time. And that does hurt St. Louis's offense. It is going to have to make other guys step up. But I think it also hurts a bit of their defense too, especially O'Reilly being out. a big piece of their center depth is gone. I don't know why this game's at a 6. Ilya Samsonov has been giving up goals as well. I think Bennington gets lit up here. I think Toronto wins this game, something like 5-2. I'm on Toronto -1.5. I'm on the over 6, and I also have William Nylander. I really have a good feeling about Nylander tonight. I'm on him anytime goal, and William Nylander over 1.5 points, which I got at +145. So I like Nylander, I like the Leafs, and I like goals in this game tonight. Nick, St. Louis, Toronto, what do you think here?
Yeah, I can see why this game is a 6. I had this game projected for around 5.9-ish, so I think this line's about right when it comes to the total. But I do like an over on a side for this one here, because obviously I wanted to find some way, shape, or form to back the Maple Leafs in this game. I think the Maple Leafs are a bet-on team going forward. Bennington's been a below-average goaltender this year, which has definitely hurt the Blues. They're missing some players. Defensively, they've not been good. They've been giving up 3.48 expected goals against the last 10 games. And the Maple Leafs, their offense has turned it up here. 3.95 expected goals for the last 10 games. So this is a team that's creating opportunities and getting chances. So I ended up grabbing the Leafs at their team total over 3.5. It is $1.45 when I got it. So it is a little bit of a little juicy, but for a number like this, I'm totally okay with that. So I went ahead and I took the Leafs team total over 3.5. I knew I wanted to get involved with the Maple Leafs. I just didn't know how. So that's eventually what I got to.
All right. Well, hopefully Leafs score a bunch of goals and we'll both be happy. Isaac says, safe to assume Terry is taking Blues money line. And Tim says Terry loves the Blues. We all know that's a little bit incorrect, but I love how the Blues are playing because they're heading towards no playoffs. And that's good for me. But we'll move on to one of the premier games of the night. We have the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. You can get Carolina -115 to -130. New York Rangers -106 to +108. 5.5s right across the board in this one. Rare to see 5.5s in the NHL. But we have a Kochetkov and Igor Shesterkin duo in net for today. So obviously that is why the total is where it is. For me, the Rangers have been playing much better as of late. I definitely have backed the Rangers. I had them at plus money the other day, +110, I believe, for the Rangers on the road there in their last game. But now you're facing a team that is 110 straight, that has been the best team in the NHL for a while now, and you're getting a good price on them on the road here. I'm on the Hurricanes. I like the Hurricanes in this spot. I think they win this game. Potentially, I'm looking at adding Carolina in regulation as well. Igor Shesterkin, 1-2 in 3 games against Carolina. .899 save percentage, 3.07 goals against average. Obviously, that's only 3 games, so it's not a huge sample size, but not really Shesterkin type numbers against Carolina. And I think they are a good spot here. Carolina money line on the road. Nick, Carolina against your favorite team, the New York Rangers. What do you think here?
Oh, yeah. My favorite team is the New York Rangers, and yours is the St. Louis Blues, but that's beyond the point. No, looking at this game, though, this game is a 5.5, and that makes 100% sense. I have this game projected for 4.68 goals, so I do lean under 5.5 in this game as well. I did play the Hurricanes at that -124 price tag, and I grabbed the Rangers team total under 2.5 at +110. This is a Hurricanes team that is playing elite defensively. They have received points in, I believe, 17 straight games. They have won 11 in a row. And this team is, other than that outburst by New Jersey in that last game, has been really limiting their opponents to not much at all. Kochetkov has been absolutely elite this year. Definitely somebody, if his price hasn't gotten out of range yet, somebody to look at for maybe a Calder Trophy for Pyotr Kochetkov. So that's kind of an interesting look potentially there. I'm trying to see if they have playoff. Here we go. They have Calder Trophy. Pyotr Kochetkov, never mind. He's plus 240. He's the favorite. So yeah, he's the favorite, and he's a favorite for a reason. This is he's looked absolutely awesome this year for Carolina, and he's one of the reasons why this team is number one in the Metro now. So definitely looking at the Hurricanes in this one. This has been a team that I've been just waking up and betting. It feels like the last 10 games they've played. So I'm on the Hurricanes again here.
All right. Crystal has a little for fun four-legger tonight. Leafs, Oilers, Canes, and Stars for plus 662. A little coffee money. I do like three of those. The Oilers. The Oilers, I'm not sure about that one, but they definitely could win. That's for sure. We'll get to that game in a bit. Ice X with the I think it's the mask face. Wait till the gifts get posted during these games. Pure gold loading. Oh boy. And Ice X's ears just rang. So, all right. We'll go on to Tim Earle's favorite game of the day, and that's the Buffalo Sabres plus 136 to plus 140. Washington minus 159 to minus 168. 6.5s right across the board in this one. And for me, I'm going with the over 6.5, which I got at plus 100. Buffalo has been an over team for the most part this year. Obviously, not coming off a very good game in Ottawa, but that's going to happen to everybody. I think they get back here with their goal-scoring ways. Washington, it seems like TJ Oshie will be back in the lineup for Washington. That adds some more explosive offense to their lineup. They've been winning games. They've been playing well. They've been scoring goals. I think we get a high-scoring game here, so I'm on the over 6.5. I think we get goals on both sides. And I am looking at the Sabres plus 140, and I'm debating on whether to pull the trigger or not. The Sabres team has cashed nice plus price tickets for me in the last few weeks. So I'm definitely looking at it. Just Washington's been playing so well. I get why they're the price that they are in this spot. Nick, Sabres, Capitals. I know you like the Capitals this year. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, I remember looking at this Washington Capitals team as a team I had circled a couple weeks ago, saying they could go on a run when they start getting healthier, and they have gotten a little bit healthier. And when this team is 100% healthy, they are a very talented hockey team, and they have a lot of depth. Ovechkin's scoring at a really nice pace at this moment. I was actually leaning a little bit towards the under in this game, with Washington being a little bit more of an under team, and actually Buffalo is actually 4-5-1 over under in their last 10 games. So they have actually been playing a little bit more under hockey than they had beforehand. I believe this is a 6.5. I have this game projected for 5.98 goals. I have this game projected 3.25 to 2.73 in favor of the Capitals. So for me, it's a lean towards the Capitals. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen's been actually really good lately. So he's somebody that definitely is taking advantage of the opportunity he's been given. But for me, I kind of lean, and this is scary. This is not the prettiest bet on the board, but I lean under in the Sabres game.
Well, there's our first disagreement of the day. It's crazy that it took to the
long
fourth.
enough, right?
Yeah, it took the fourth game for us to get there. One play I did not mention that I forgot to in the Carolina game, even though it's at a 5.5, I have a player prop in that one, and that's Brent Burns to get an assist.
Yes.
He's been an assist machine lately. You can get that at plus 105. Brent Burns to get an assist. I think he assists on one of Carolina's goals. So that is my player prop for that one. We'll move on to one of the next games that I am not betting whatsoever and really don't have too much of an opinion on, but we'll look at it anyways. We have the Arizona Coyotes plus 265 to plus 287. Florida, minus 300 to minus 360. Finnegan did just bark upstairs a couple times. I don't know if you guys heard it or not. So are the dogs barking in this one? We'll see. But Florida, minus 300 to minus 360. This isn't the same Florida team as last year, but 6.5 with the total in this one. I'm passing in this game, and like I said, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. The only thing I would kind of say is Florida should not be minus 350, minus 360 right now. Yes, they're at home, but this Florida team looks dramatically different than the one that we saw last year that led the NHL in goals. And last year, if this game was being played, I could see this price. But this year, I have no wanting to bet this game. If I'm going to take a shot with Arizona, which I have, they need to be at home because they play much better at home than on the road. So nothing for me in this one. Nick, I'm sure in this game that you have a bet in this one.
Of course I do. I need a really good explanation why the hell this Florida Panthers team is minus 350 tonight. And I get it. It's the Arizona Coyotes. Who cares? This team shouldn't be minus 350 versus anybody. I have no problem fading them as a minus 350. I got this at plus 297. It's now down to a plus 290 on my book. I'm on the Arizona Coyotes money line. No surprise there. This team plays a little bit better. Defensively, the Panthers are giving up 3.67 expected goals against. So this is a team that's giving up a lot. And not only that, their goaltending's been bad. Whether it's been Bobrovsky or Knight, Knight's been a below average goaltender this year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He hasn't been good. And one thing that I did notice that since the trade in the offseason with that Huberdeau and Barkov trade, with both these teams are way worse than they were with those players. That trade made no sense at the time, and it makes no sense now. So that's just something where I don't think the Panthers make the playoffs this year. So laying 350 with them is an absolute no-no for me. I took a shot with the Arizona in this game, plus 297. I took a shot on their team total over 2.5 because you're getting plus money against a Florida Panthers team who defensively has been horrible as of late. You're getting plus 110 for team total over 2.5 with the Arizona Coyotes in this game. So absolutely taking a shot here with the Desert Dogs, team total over, and the money line.
All right. Spencer Knight, he might be going through what Carter Hart went through.
Yes,
Knight looked great in his first year in the NHL, which will definitely happen, but you don't want to rush your franchise goaltender. There was talks earlier on in the year when Minnesota in the first few games, when Fleury and Gustafsson both let in a whole bunch of goals. There were people saying, bring up Wallstedt. No way in hell do I want that to happen. Wallstedt needs to stay in the AHL for at least another year, at least 2 years, in my opinion. You don't want to rush your starting franchise goaltender. Florida rushed Knight a little bit. That's my kind of explanation of why he might be taking a bit of a step back here. But you do not want to rush your franchise goaltender. Goaltenders take more time to develop than forwards and defensemen. Do not rush them. That's what I have to say in that one. We'll go to the comments here. And like what you were saying about Florida, yes, it's very possible Florida and Calgary both could possibly miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Both after making those trades it's hurt both of them. Sure.
I would take Calgary over Florida to make a spot just because of the strength of the Western Conference compared to the East.
Sure. Mike Lennon, haven't seen you for a while.
I need to see Mike Lennon. I need to see an Let's Go Coyotes picks post today. I haven't seen one yet.
Mike Lennon says Coyotes money line. He says Coyotes minus 1.5.
That's plus 500.
Coyotes first to score. And Clayton Keller anytime goal. Maybe Mike Lennon likes the Coyotes a little bit in this game, but could be just a thought there. We'll move on along to the next one. Speaking of the Calgary Flames, they are here on the road, minus 133 to minus 146 in Winnipeg. Winnipeg plus 115 to plus 122, 5.5s and 6s in this game. My first thoughts are Calgary is a much better home team than a road team. I have no interest in backing the Flames at this price on the road. Winnipeg, a team that's beat up right now when it comes to their overall lineup. Forward depth is kind of beat up right now. I'm on the under. Both teams playing towards the under right now. Both teams played to the under in the past. I got under 6 this morning. I like the under in this one. I think we get maybe a 3-2, maybe a 3-1 type of game. So my one under of the day, I like that lower scoring game in this one. This could potentially be a draw spot. I could literally see this being a 1-1 game or even 2-2 game and go to overtime. But I like the under in this one. Nick, Flames, Jets, battle of two Canadian Western teams. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I got involved in this game early, and it's moved against me. It's moved 25 cents against me. Winnipeg, I got them at even money. You can get them for $1.25 now. And I was kind of looking this morning at maybe the Flames team total under. You can get a 3.5 with that. It's $1.60. So they priced me out of that one a little bit there. Not enough of an edge for me to go ahead and take that team total under. If I had a little bit more than about 0.85 goals of value on that under, I would need probably at least a goal of value to lay $1.60 on a team total like that. So I lean towards that. I do lean towards the under in this game, but I end up staying off of it, or from the total perspective. I'm on the Jets, but I got a bad line for it, so I lean Jets, but it's a pat, or I bet the Jets at even money, pass for the total.
All right. Tim Earl, if you're still watching, this is directed at you, I'm sure. Isaac says real Jets money line. So he likes the Jets in this one. And Mike Glennon says Packers to win the Super Bowl. Write it down. Yeah, whatever. We'll see.
Packers make the playoffs. I wouldn't say Super Bowl, because I'll have a pretty significant size bet on the 49ers if they play Green Bay in the first round.
Yeah, I don't want the Packers to even make the Super Bowl, but that's a whole other discussion for another time. Don't get me started on that game again. But we'll jump in to the next game. Montreal Canadiens plus 190 to plus 210. Nashville minus 237 to minus 250. Sixes right across the board in this one. Another game that I'm passing on the slate. I think Nashville wins this game by minus 250. They should win this game. I'm not jumping on a Nashville puck line. Like I said, no interest in betting Montreal in any way. And I could see this game going over at a total of 6, but I could also see some kind of 4-1 Nashville win. So this game's just a complete pass for me. Nick, Montreal Canadiens, Nashville Predators. What do you think on this one?
I'm on the same page there. This is a game I wanted to back Nashville, but was priced out of it because they're minus 233 and it's plus 105 on the puck line, which would lead you to a minus 162 on the minus 1 line, which was out of my price range here. Nashville wins this game. Montreal has been pretty bad as of late defensively. They've been consistently bad defensively. I do have this game projected 3.53 to 2.61. So I have this game projected towards maybe a team total over with the Preds. But once again, that 3.5 is minus 130, which I just don't see enough of an edge to bet that. So for me, this was one where I wanted to back Nashville in some way, shape, or form. I just couldn't.
All right. Before we get to the next game, Mike Lennon, I've never used the mute button. I've not muted or muted anybody before, but you're very close to getting muted.
I hear Alexander is
I'll put you on timeout for 5 minutes like Tim likes to do if you're going to be saying this comment. Yeah, that's completely 100% taunting. If I've ever seen taunting in the NFL, that's what that was. But we'll move on. I don't ever want to have to bring it up again, but I'm sure I will every time I see that name from now until the future. But next game up, Tampa Bay Lightning Chicago Blackhawks. This was 2015. Oh boy, what a great game this would be, but it's not. It's 2023. Tampa Bay minus 345 to minus 416. Chicago plus 285 to plus 338. 6.5s right across the board in this one. Complete pass for me. I have zero interest in going anywhere near this game. I will be involved in Tampa Bay tomorrow night on the second half of their back-to-back when they are in Minnesota. But tonight against Chicago, what are you going to take? Minus 2.5 at plus 110, plus 125? That's basically where you'd have to go in this one. Tampa Bay should beat up on the Chicago Blackhawks, but this is a stay-away game for me in this one. Nick, Tampa Bay Lightning, Chicago Blackhawks. I know you like big dogs. Are you looking at Chicago at plus 300?
No. And one thing that's still up in the air is whether or not we're going to see Vasilevsky tonight or if they're going to save him for tomorrow. Obviously, tomorrow is the tougher matchup, barely the tougher matchup, but it is still a tougher matchup. So I'm wondering if they're going to go with Elliott or if they're going to go with Vasilevsky. Either way, I still like the under in this game. And I know it's going to sound like, even though I think that Tampa probably puts 4 in tonight. We're asking, though, you would have to ask the Blackhawks to put in 3 then. And I just don't see it. I see this as potentially a 4-1, 5-1 win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I do have under 6.5 in this game. I got that at minus 104. And I took the Blackhawks team total under 2.5 at minus 140. Regardless if it's Elliott or if it's Vasilevsky, I don't see the Blackhawks scoring. This is a team that does not score often or does not score much at all. I believe they're last in the NHL in goals per game. This is a team that's been about splitting even, trending over under. But offensively, this is just a team that you can go ahead fade 2.19 goals per game this season, which is 32nd in the NHL. So this is the worst offense in hockey, and I am going to anticipate that continues into tonight. So I took the under 6.5 and the team total under 2.5 for the Blackhawks.
All right. Isaac says a Lightning minus 4.5 in this one.
I wonder what the line is for that. Like, genuinely, I wonder what the line is for that because it doesn't.
And Mike Lennon's actually going to look at that, so he likes that too. Lightning minus 4.5.
Let's see what I can get for you here. I got the line. Lightning minus 4.5 is plus 575. Minus 5.5 is 850.
There you go.
Good luck.
And for me, it doesn't really matter who goes in net in this one. I was watching the Ice Guys earlier, so shout out to them. Alex mentioned that Elliott has a good record against Minnesota. Yeah. I think he's 8-2 or something like that. But obviously, most of those games are when he played with St. Louis, not with Tampa. And Vasilevsky doesn't do very well against Minnesota either. But that'll be on tomorrow's slate. Isaac says tasty. He likes those odds. My book only up to minus 3.5.
Oof.
Yeah, some of the books won't go 4.5, 5.5. That's for sure. But we will move on along to the next one. We have the Seattle Kraken and the Edmonton Oilers. You can get Seattle plus 138 to plus 145. Edmonton minus 161 to minus 173. 6.5s right across the board in this one. I took over 6.5 in this one. These teams have faced each other 4 times so far in the history of Seattle, the franchise. All 4 games have gone over. Edmonton, an over team for most of the year. Seattle definitely can be an over team. And I like the over in this one. I think we get a lot of goals early. If you looked at the last game, I'm expecting a better start to this one for Seattle. They obviously started last game in a horrible fashion, giving up like three or four goals to the Oilers in the first period. Great for my over, not great for my Kraken money line. Not going on the Kraken in this one, but I think they possibly could be a live dog in this one. If Jack Campbell is confirmed in net for Edmonton, I will be adding Kraken money line on my card. But I like the over 6.5 in this one. I think we get goals on both sides. Nick, Seattle Kraken, Edmonton Oilers. What do you think here?
Yeah, Seattle's been an interesting team for me lately, and they've been a team I've made money betting against as of late. Obviously not last game because Martin Jones actually had a halfway decent performance, but their goaltending has massively regressed negatively. And this is a team that's giving up chances night in, night out. Defensively, they've not been playing as well. Offensively, they've struggled, and they've fallen back down to earth. This is a team that overachieved to start the year, and we're finally discovering who the Seattle team is, which is a good team, not a great team. They're probably going to be about league average. They might steal a wild card spot. They're not a team that's going to finish in the top three of the Pacific Division. On the other side, we have Edmonton, who I'm anticipating is going to compete to not only make into the top three of the division, but win the division still. If Vegas struggles with injuries, like I was worried about at the beginning of the season, that Pacific Division is wide open. Edmonton has the talent to be able to move up and be able to win games. I have this game projected 3.86 to 3. So I had this game projected around 6.86 goals. So I lean over 6.5. I did bet the Oilers -1 at -102. The Kraken are going to be a team I'm just going to continue to bet against until they get better goaltending situation, because Jones and Grubauer are not going to cut it, especially when they don't play well defensively, giving up 3.59 expected goals against the last 10 games. So I'm on the Oilers -1 and their team total over 3.5.
All right. We'll move on along to another game, one of my favorite games of the night. We have the Dallas Stars and the LA Kings. You can get Dallas -118 to -137. LA +100 to +114. Sixes right across the board in this one. Jake Onger is confirmed for Dallas. Dallas really likes to go and to play in LA. 11-3-1 in the last 15 meetings in LA. 9-2 in the last 11. They have played well when they go to LA. Apparently, it is the dad's trip. So the dads are on the trip with the Dallas Stars. I think that will give them extra motivation as well. So I like the Stars road favorite here in this one. They are playing a back-to-back, so they'll be in Anaheim tomorrow. But obviously, they're starting Ottinger tonight. So I like Dallas at a nice cheap road price against a team they've played well against. Nick, Dallas, LA, what do you think here?
Yeah, I've already bet the over 6 for tomorrow's game between Anaheim and Dallas because I'm projecting Wedgwood in net. But looking at this matchup here, I did take Dallas. I have this game projected 3.11 to 2.59 in favor of the Stars. Copley's been good, but I think he's going to be coming back down to earth a little bit. Here he has the last few starts. Defensively, the Kings are an okay team. So I lean under in this game as well, especially seeing that we're getting a 6. If this is a 6.5, I would be betting the under, which I get a 6.5 because my book offers alternative totals. If I can get a 6.5, I'd be interested. And of course, they don't offer 6.5. That's very nice of them. But yeah, I would lean under. I was hoping for a 6.5 in this game. But I do like the Stars in this spot. Just the better overall team. They're playing like a team that's on top of the Western Conference, which they basically are. They're on top of that Central Division. I had them as a wild card team heading in. Not like they're going to make the wild card. It's either they're going to be really good or they're going to really struggle, the Stars, and they've played pretty well. Anger's been good between the pipes, and looking at tomorrow, Wedgwood is not a bad backup. But I do like the Stars in this matchup here. I got him at -121.
All right, me and Nick agree again. Crazy. It doesn't happen too often.
I mean, Kings money line.
But I'm sure we'll have different thoughts in this next one, the final game of the night. New York Islanders and Vancouver Canucks. You can get the Islanders minus 116 to minus 105. Vancouver minus 115 to plus 100. And you can get over sixes across the board in this one. And yeah, I don't really have too much thoughts. So that's basically my thoughts for that one. Islanders, not a team that I can get correctly. Shocking. They remind me of another New York team that shall not be named that I've had struggles with. So not really interested in betting Islander games. If I was looking at Vancouver, I'd like a bigger plus price if I was backing them in the spot. So if anything, it would be the over 6. But Sorokin has started to play better lately, so I can't get to the over either. I could see this being like a 2-1, 3-1 type of game. So ultimately, I'm staying off this one. Nick, Islanders, Vancouver Canucks. What do you think here?
This play is more of fading the Canucks than backing the Islanders, to be completely honest, because gold and defensively, Vancouver's not doing him any favors. They're giving up 3.65 expected goals against the last 10 games. So they're giving up opportunities. They're giving up chances. And the Islanders, as bad as their offense could be, they've put up 3.2 expected goals for the last 10 games on average. So this is a team that is creating some opportunities. So I'm expecting this offense to open up a little bit as well. I had this game projected 3.97 to 2.17. So I wouldn't talk to people off of taking maybe the Islanders -1 or regulation or puck line. Like, I can see the Islanders bouncing back after what was a flat spot, having to travel cross country on New Year's Eve and all that fun jazz. That was just a flat spot I should have seen coming there for New York. But I'm going to take the better goalie in this game. I'm going to take the defense that plays better, and I'm going to fade a Vancouver defense that is along the ranks of the Blackhawks, the Blue Jackets, and the Ducks defensively. No, I'm not lying about that. Actually, the Blackhawks are better defensively than this Canucks team is when you look at goals per game. So this Canucks team has really been bad defensively, so I'm going to look to fade them defensively here. I'm going to be on the Islanders team total over 3.5, getting a plus price tag at plus 115, and I got the Islanders at -111.
All right. And moving on to best bets, where I cashed another one. My best bet yesterday, Vegas Golden Knights, plus 145. So I took a break from the puck lines. I cashed 3 puck lines in a row. So I've been cashing plus money plays on my best bets. Looking to keep that streak going here. And let me take a look here. I'd really like to keep the plus money streak going with the best bets, but there's 2 teams that I'm thinking here. I got to go with Dallas Stars -118. So not a plus money play today. But if I'm looking to keep my best bet streak going, it's the Dallas Stars in this one. I really like how they played. So my best bet today, Dallas Stars money line. Nick, best bet on the slate today. I know you bet on most of your bets evenly, obviously depending on the odds. But is there one that stands out to you today?
I think the biggest edge I have on a play today is going to be the Carolina Hurricanes at -124. I think they should be more around -150, -160 in this game. So I'm going to go with the team that has just been me waking up and betting the last few weeks, and I'm going to go back to them here, Carolina Hurricanes money line.
That was the other bet. That was the other team I was looking at. So totally agree with that. Markel says, go Tigers, go. LSU upset tonight.
I have LSU plus the points, so I'm totally cool with that.
All right. Isaac says, woo, Rangers win. So he's fading Nick. But that is today's show. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. Appreciate all the support. A small 3-game slate tomorrow. But obviously there'll still be a show because the Wild are playing, so I'll have to discuss them. But no, we'll be back tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry and friends. Best of luck today on the big NHL slate, and we'll see you again, guys. Have a good one.